Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barcast TV. It's May 20th, 2024. I'm joined by Volshock. Welcome to the channel, man.
Hello, thank you for having me. Excited to see some exciting and good games.
Here we are in the Bar Pro League Season 3, Round of 16 Group A. And we have got the winner's match between Chisato and Alta 4. Do I have that right? Or yeah, this is the winner.
Yeah, you do, because Chisato beat Goopy and then Alta 4 beat Kochi.
Right, so spawning in the top right side of Cetus Crack, we have playing as the blue Armada Commander, Alt 4 Ulevator.
Going for his classic arm bot opening, I'm assuming.
And spawning in the bottom left, we have a man who needs no introduction, spawning as the red Cortex Commander, Chisato. What do you think about these spawn positions, Volshock?
I feel like I prefer Chisato's position. For whatever reason, I think it kind of makes it a little bit easier to expand backwards with your base there. I haven't seen a lot of people actually do the high ground spawn that Ubervator's done, so I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out differently. I mean, I guess you do have better radar coverage early on, which is nice.
I've been spawning here for a little bit of time. Lately, I've been more favoring this position, but what I like about spawning on the hill is like you're kind of instantly protected versus vehicles in some ways. So that's kind of nice, right? And just like how this front position, it's easy to expand, right? It's the same for this hill position, right? Like you can naturally come down like all three of these, or four even, and expand, right? So, but as playing on ARM bots, I was actually thinking about this. It makes sense to do the 2-mech spot because you spam so many ticks, right? So the metal difference, sorry, the metal you lose spawn going for a 2-mech spawn isn't as bad because you have these really cheap units you're creating.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense too. And there is all the expansions like you mentioned. And Ubervator, when he does this, he likes to get quite a few early cons and then try to trap the enemy on the other side just with tick pressure. So it kind of, you're right. I think it makes sense for him to go there and then drop a bunch of cons to expand behind this tick assault.
Which hasn't got any damage yet, but he hasn't lost any. So it's great to, like, kind of what you alluded to, keep the pressure, right? If you lose the ticks, it kind of goes away. So just the threat of this is going to keep these 3 grunts at home. Take a look at the main base. Ubervator has 2 solars already. I think Chisato saw him make a 3rd one, even going for a 4th.
Yeah, and Ubervator has the double cons expanding now, and Chisato just has the 1 coming out. So technically Ubervator's ahead in terms of his expansion, but we'll see if that actually plays out.
You can see Chisato's playing fairly defensively with these grunts. Like even maybe this one on the top side is going to be moving out, but he's just keeping these grunts at back, playing really passively, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's one of those big risks and or fears when you're playing against tick though, because you just need 1 or 2 ticks to get past those patrolling grunts or your grunts to be out of position, and then they just inflict so much damage.
How are you going to find damage here, though? Look at this. He's like, he got a solar wall pretty much around all his wind turbines, right?
His commander can get out of there, right?
I think so. Surely.
Autopilot says he's stuck. I don't know, man. I hope not.
Yeah, right. That he looks kind of stuck. I'm not going to lie. It's second. Ubervator's got a little bit better SimCity here. Even's got this like early energy converter. Not sure how he worked that out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's value. Ubervator is going to sneak these ticks in on the left. I don't think he actually gets this con kind of near Chisato's base, but
no.
He gets...
And that's the nice thing about. Actually, I've seen Chisato play like this a few times. He's maybe a little slower to expand, but he's really conservative with his grunt position. So look, like this one's got like triangulating grunts around this one con. This con's got 1 next to an LLT, right? So really defensive style.
Yeah, and Chisato's starting to mix res bots in, who's got a repeat queue of 2 cons, 1 res, and then 7 grunts. Which is kind of interesting.
I'd call this maybe a mid-game, early mid-game composition here as we like get farther into it. I've seen Teddy go to like 10 3 res bots, 1 Thrasher even. So different points in the game, you want to have those different build queues on your bot lab or vehicle lab.
I'm not convinced that Teddy can get out, or sorry, that Chisato can get out of his base. Oh, there we go. I think he finally is going to be able to walk out. There, all right.
He must have.
How do you feel about comm walk timing on this?
On this map? It's a good question. I actually might not be the right guy to ask because I just lost a game on this map versus Xerxes, but what I've experienced on my own games is like your commanders will end up being on either side of this crack here, right? So it's like it's maybe a strong side, weak side. If you think about in the case of Chisato, if you move down this side of the crack, that would be like, this is the area you would be open to counterattack or run through, as opposed to like trying to push an army through here. Or like trying to walk all the way around here to get an army, right? So that's kind of my thoughts on that.
Okay. Chisato is trying to get a little bit of vision here, but Alta 4 immediately shuts him down with a little grunt pawn. I'm sorry, grunt tick. God, pawn tick. There we go.
Been seeing more of this in the matchup. Well, in 1v1s in general, arm bots versus core bots, which I've been really excited to see. It's cool to see different players play to their own styles and strengths, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because everyone said that the 5 speed change for, pawn versus grunt wasn't actually that big of a deal, but it does feel like since that change went through, we've seen a ton more arm bots.
Which is cool. I mean, you don't have the... Maybe it got stale, like watching, core versus core. Like, I didn't mind it too much, but maybe as like a more casual player could get frustrated even just seeing the same matchup over and over again. So it's cool to see. These 2 pawns are getting worked on, man. 3 mexes.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to get that much. I mean, they've already gotten 3 mexes, right? And I don't think they get more, but still, that was great value. And Alta 4 is pretty aggressive with this composition, walking towards mid.
Right, just capping these mexes. No forward radar quite yet, and Chisato's done a great job moving pretty far forward in this lane, actually. He's got two exploiters and a radar here. Who does he know that's a commander? Let me check his player view. Not quite sure if he knows that's the commander or not, but he's heading the opposite way with his own, so...
Yeah, I don't think he does. Although he might see it now.
Right.
No, I guess he doesn't yet, but he has grunts coming on the backside, so he'll see it now. But yeah, I feel like this early on, the grunts, you'd need so many grunts to actually threaten a commander with 2 LLTs that it's just not viable.
Yeah, definitely. I would completely avoid that area if I was a grunt, right? So...
And it looks like Alta 4 Ubervader is going to do a V-swap now, so we got Blitz coming out.
He's reclaimed his bot lab even, and has, I can see, air lab queued up.
Are you okay with him reclaiming the bot lab? I feel like just with all the terrain on this map, it's kind of nice to have pawns to chase the grunts, because otherwise I feel like the grunts can just abuse terrain, right? They just run up and run back.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I would say, like, if you are going to reclaim the bot lab, just to start blitz production, right? You can't move into medium tanks, right? So you have to, like, yeah, the grunts can abuse the hills, but they won't, like, overwhelm your units, so to speak, like they can medium tanks. In the early part of that transition to vehicles, right? Both players kind of securing their half of the map, it seems. Chisato's going for this forward lab.
Yeah. It's relatively equal. Ubervader is slightly ahead in terms of energy production, which is nice.
Right.
And he does have a much larger army out on the field, but I don't know if he can really translate that into real map control.
That was that was energy converter. I was like, what was that explosion? Okay.
Yeah, like, wait, what is this? So Chisato with his own vehicle lab transition, it's a little bit slower, right? But he's going to go straight into Brute. He's not even going to drop incisors.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? Just to go straight Brute instead of incisor?
I'm not sure. It's like, frankly, I think pounders are a little better, like straight off with these forward factories, right? say all these tanks were on the other side, like suddenly it'd be kind of a dicey situation, right? So maybe a little slower of a start, but you end up with better quality units quicker. Size it.
I like that Alta 4 has dropped this mine layer kind of right up there. We don't get to see mines enough. I feel like they definitely can have some great uses. We saw Teddy abuse them a bit in the qualifiers.
I've been seeing Alta 4 use them as well, right? So I think in his match for Scoochie, which should be in the playlist if you're on YouTube, he was using the mines as well at all points in the game, really. So here we go, bombers out for our man Ubervator. It's going up to 4, 5 before revealing these. Is Chisato gonna know this is happening?
I don't think so. Although he didn't drop a scout with him, which is a little strange to me.
Right. You just.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, it was hiding back.
Right. This is gonna be pretty well timed. It's close. He'll reveal the bombers, right? But he'll definitely get a scout of the main base before.
Oh my God, those mines just killed a lot of grunts. But let's see what can he do here?
He's got a couple of nettles out. Just a little bit of a misclick there. He didn't get his first bombing run off.
Yeah, that was. I think it would have been worth it if he would have killed the wind, but he didn't really get that much, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You could have gotten, like, all these wind turbines with 5 bombers, right? That would have been, like, half of the E. Oh, excuse me. Pause the match. So that's going to put him behind, really. Now, suddenly, like, he has less medium tanks, I'm assuming, on the field, right? I see 4 stouts, 2, 3 Janus behind him.
I mean, that basically equalized army value at about, like, 6k a piece, so kind of scary.
This is a nice trade, or defense rather, for our man Alt F4.
We've been seeing more Banshee play. Do you think it's worth it here for him to maybe do a little bit of a Banshee transition just to like pick off random scouting units, or no?
Not sure. We see Chisato doesn't have an air lab right yet. Well, actually, no, he does. I see a couple of fighters out. This is where I don't like gunships after you've gone for air and your opponent has made an air lab, because like fighters handle them so well, right? As opposed to like static AA or, you know, slashers or whistlers. Suddenly things seem to be falling apart, right? Like there's his tanks raiding all over the map on blue side, right?
Yeah, I think Ubervader thought that the mine layer with a couple LLTs was going to be able to hold back Chisato, and they did get quite a few kills, but it's just not enough. Now this whole northern flank is really exposed. Chisato has the opportunity to run in if he wants. He's got his own counter bombing run coming in.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to miss micro these, but did he get a shot at the main base? I don't... That little bit of a run by did, but not the best bombs. 2 go off, get a couple of wind turbines. Just a couple of energy converters, yeah.
Yeah, he gets some converters, which isn't too bad. He does see the main, though, and I think he's going to get quite a bit of E now with this.
Yeah, here we go. The really stacked together wind turbines are going off, so...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage here.
Yeah, I mean, that completely swings energy production. I mean, Chisato's basically double Alt F4's E production now, which is going to be incredibly difficult if he's trying to make air of his own, just because he's so far behind economically.
This is a tough position to be in. We see that Chisato's kind of secured both sides of the crack. Usually the games devolve into like you have like one half, right? But it seems like he's taken most of the mexes on the map, finding a way to raid his opponent.
Yeah, if he gets up here and kills this wind, I think it's going to be really, really bad as well. I mean, he's got an LLT building, but I think there's enough brutes here that they can come up and snipe the wind and the converters, and they get that BP.
His construction turret's going to go down. I was actually repairing that LLT. That's kind of cool to see. And have another bombing run coming in. Fighters are doing a decent job dealing with that, it seems so.
Yeah, Alta 4 is prepared for that.
I think the one opportunity is kind of falling away here for Alta 4 to find a way to win this game. Chisato is moving his commander back. He had it right on the front line.
Yeah, I mean, Alt F4's calm is super, super low, right? Chisato didn't quite all in for it, but he did a lot of damage.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Was he bombing that,
Yeah.
or?
He bombed it, and then he also had some ground units there as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed that. Sorry. Suddenly things are falling apart. Moving back into a bot lab here for Alt F4, trying to get some res bots out, but
yeah, he has the stout push on top, and he's running into LLTs with supporting Bruce behind it. I don't think these stouts are going to be enough for it, and he doesn't have control of this wreck field either, right? So this push out's going to be really dangerous. If he doesn't completely capture this, he's in a lot of trouble.
yeah, Alt F4 ends up tapping out. Calls GG.
Oh, calls GG, detonates his comm.
Moving into game number 2, so what a way to set the tone for a series, right? Winning game 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think also it felt relatively close early on, but Chisato just slowly pulled away from Alt F4. Do you think maybe Alt F4 is used to getting a little bit more done with his rating ticks with that sort of aggressive 2-max tick open?
I'm sure he is. He's come through the qualifiers so far and gotten to this point in his group, and suddenly is facing, the last season's champion, right? So the quality of players is definitely increased, and that can be the challenge of playing ARM bots, right? Against core bots, right? Is like it's like kind of running into a wall in some regards.
Yeah. Let's see. Canis is one of those great maps where I feel like all 4 spawn positions are viable.
I would agree. There's even like a hidden one here. I guess the transport build you can spawn up here. I've seen Stardom actually spawn there, and Chisato or X Factor. I've seen a few players spawn in that location, but we don't see that today.
Yeah, we got classic, or I'd say like the traditional spawns on this map. That sort of center spawn nestled in 2 hills, and Ubervader with his standard ARM bots.
Yeah, 1-max ARM bots open.
Chisato with Core V Lab open. Interesting.
I like this build. Actually, he's maybe having second thoughts. No, it goes for it. So, with Solar 2 wins into a vehicle lab here.
Yeah, wind is nice and high, which is great for him. He's at 72, so we'll still have to probably drop that solar after, but wind did him a solid there.
I noticed Chisato makes 2 scouts first, not con first. On different maps too. That's interesting. It's gonna let him spot these incoming ticks a little more quickly, so fortunate for him, he might be able to defend himself a little better than going con first or otherwise.
Yeah, he doesn't have radar down yet, but I assume these rovers will see these ticks. Oh, maybe not.
No, but you can at least get counter damage perhaps, right? Ooh, nice catch here on the one rover. Is he gonna get it? Yeah, it takes one down.
Yeah, that's one of those brutal, you're like, oh yeah, the rovers are great, and then once they run into ticks, you're like, hold on. Wait a minute.
Right.
Can he? I don't think he's really gonna get anything done. He still has these 2 remaining ticks, and I'm not sure what he's hoping to do aside from maybe just trap these remaining rascals on that side of the map.
Right. Chisato actually adapted his build. He added on some more rascals before his first initial con. I think he made a 5 before the con. So great job kind of playing to his opponent. So Alt F4 really leans on this build, right? Like 1-max tick openings.
Yeah. I mean, he does have his first con already took a max and is taking a second max, and then he has the second expanding con, but he is incredibly E-stalled right now, so a little difficult.
Yeah, what is this? He has metal in the bank. Yeah, so E-stalling metal in the bank, that means make a solar, right? But he has got a resbot coming out, which is cool to see. There's so much energy on this map. It's wild.
Oh no, is this rascal gonna find this con? I think it is. Wait, he ran past it.
Oh.
Chisato, you gonna go back? Okay, there we go.
It's gonna grab the max, surely, right? Okay.
I think so, yeah, and then maybe try to get the con as well. Is there a citizen's arrest? He's not gonna commit, interesting. Oh, Chisato with the defensive LLT. Do you like that?
Oh, I love this layout. See the LLT on the right side, Commander on the left. And that's letting him play really greedy with this build power, right? So he's got 3 cons assisting the lab right now. Commander's going to be able to expand, so I'll have to see what this metal income looks like in the next 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, I like the aggression from the Alt F4 build, but I feel like if it doesn't get a lot done, then you definitely do end up with a pretty substantial economic deficit.
Even an army quality one too. It's like you know, pawns and ticks versus like incisors can be hard to micro against. You have to get really favorable like flanking damage essentially to be able to, you know, go toe to toe with these units. Chisato knows these ticks are up here. He's got this like light tank patrolling back behind his base. He's expanding to the right finally with one of his cons. Continuing to move into mid with his commander.
Yeah, Alt F4 he's got the con, resbot, tick, and pawn all queued up, so see how that goes. When do you feel like it's worth it to not include these ticks in?
Maybe when we start seeing medium tanks out and like LLTs everywhere. So was that Pat like kind of well into the mid game? Because like even now, like you can find damage with ticks. Like I mean, I see little areas that, you know, you could sneak them in, find damage, right? But not, let alone like a vision for your pawns.
It's got the one incisor up here, but I don't think it. Oh, I take that back. It does get those ticks.
Right. And it's gonna get here before the LLTs finish. Another pawn's gonna show up. I think a pawn beats a 50% HP incisor, but not before it gets another mech. Right?
It's close. Oh no, he pulled the Ubervader pulled it in just a little bit too close. That's one of those weird things with pawns where you want to be at the pawn's max range because then the incisor gets reduced damage because the laser's like is like beyond 50%. But if you close distance on the incisor actually does full damage.
Yeah, those lasers definitely hurt. Oh no, he's gonna catch this single Lazarus here. Somehow, wait, is that attacking ground? Like, what is this even shooting at? I don't even.
I'm not sure what to tell you on that one.
Yeah, did you see that? It was like shooting the ground. Like, I don't know if you like
set target to it on something. Maybe?
Yeah. See, another con gets caught out here on the top plateau, and this is great damage here. He's gonna find 2 cons even. Ticks don't stop incisors, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think he definitely, if he can circle back and get the con, that's massive. And he gets it, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, definitely.
There's
wow.
No yeah.
2 cons for an incisor is huge. And he's not done getting cons. Another one's going to get sniped here in the middle of the map. This is kind of spiraling out of control.
Yeah, this is definitely concerning. I feel like Ubi needs to figure out some way to just shut this down. Maybe he wants to try to hold one of the chokes, like hold the north choke or the south choke, just so that it's not quite as easy for all these raids to get through.
Yeah, we see another one coming here on the south side. 4 incisors beat an LOT, right? So it's just going to be more of the same here. You got to stop the bleeding somehow. Hold one of these chokes. You need res bots, right? But it's like I think he's lost too much initiative, right? At this point, it's like...
Yeah. He's trying to res as much as he can here. He does have the E production, which is nice, but I think Chisato's gonna start to change that. Oh, he's just spamming wind. I thought Chisato had A solars queued up, but he decided against it, and he's gonna drop some more wind farms. So, interesting.
Yeah, put that build power into scaling the wind before we start moving into advanced solars. Like, you can't start making them when you're stalling on E, right? So makes sense. See, Ubervader is stalling on E as well. Some of these mexes and LOTs aren't powered correctly even.
Oh, and does this incisor sneak through here?
No way.
Oh, it does, but it's gonna run into a resed one. Okay.
Still, I mean, you have to micro your units, right? The incisor is gonna get
Oh wow, it doesn't quite. It was close. It was close.
right. Yeah, exactly. It gets sweaty, right? Like all these little details, you have to like stay on top of your units. That was one of the hardest transitions for me moving to bar. It's like you can't just like body block units with yours, so you have to like stay with them and move together.
Yeah.
That took so long to adjust to, right? Like just can't click units in front of them and like look away, and then it's like suddenly they're like on top of your wind.
Yeah, no, you can. It is a different style of micro for sure. Uber Vader is still just committed fully into bots. I kind of think maybe he'll need a VLab switch soon, but
Yeah. He's not pulling metal quite yet, so he can spend the metal. Typically, that's kind of like the hard part about playing bots at a certain point is just can't spend the metal. But maybe that's a function of like all these cons going down too, right? You just didn't have that income spike in metal like you would to afford the vehicles.
Uber Vader is going to try to push mid. He's taking quite a bit of damage with his calm.
Right, it's 50% HP. I see a commander surrounded by tanks. I don't know about you, but
yeah, I'm a little concerned.
He's Poncho up behind it. Uber Vader's gonna pull back. Okay, so he senses the danger. Still, these incisors are finding damage, right? Both sides of the map, on the left and on the right. Another, 10 health. Incisor slips through.
Yeah, he's definitely getting way more damage than I actually thought he would with just all of it. He keeps sneaking all of them in. Uber Vader does have quite a few res bots now, though, so we're seeing resed pawns, resed incisors, and those will at least help sort of stem the tide. I mean, I think that if you're playing bots, you do need to, I don't want to say rely on, but you do need to leverage res bots.
Oh, for sure. Especially if like all this metal is on your side of the map, your opponent's kind of been like maybe feeding you a little bit with the raids, so to speak. So look at Chisato's main base. This is like really cool to see. Con turrets are spread out. He's ate his basic solars. He's got 2 E storage up.
And Ubi actually leaks in some pawns into Chisato's main. I don't know if they're going to get too much done because there are some responding incisors, but could be good damage.
Yeah, they're going to get a little bit of the infrastructure. Gonna get a con here, so really nice. Pretty cool radar position too here, right in the middle of the...
Yeah, I do like that radar.
First time seeing that. These 2 exploiters on the right side doing work, holding that down.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot more of the walled... Oh my god, those LLTs.
Oh.
I don't think Uber Vader realized how many LLTs are there.
That was a lot of...
A lot of LLTs just grouped up.
Here we go. This is a nice little push here. Incisors and pawns. You don't see that every day.
No, that is nice. I think he gets through it. He gets the LLT. Can they actually get any economic damage?
I don't think so. There's exploiters everywhere. Tanks running to the front here to kind of cut this off.
Yeah, and his res bots aren't coming down. His res bots are still kind of in the north. I wish there was a blob of res bots behind this just to res it, right?
Yeah, that's what you want. Like, start this push and have the res bots already there to kind of anticipating that fight. This is quite the reclaim field, yeah.
Yeah, so two lap swaps here. It looks like Chisato wants to go air and Uber Vader wants to go vehicle.
Yeah, this is great here for Chisato's moving into Shuri's. That's gonna just, like, it's like he's one step ahead or something like that, It's like,
yeah.
Alt F4 is moving into vehicles. Like, well, Chisato's had that out. He's got these more quality units, right? 17 incisors on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Uber Vader brought the res bots to try to get that, to actually try to get that rec field, but he's not going to secure it, and that's a lot of incisors to go running through your base.
Right, like what is between them in the main base, but a single stout and a pawn, right? A couple of Lazarus here. The commander's not even in position here to degun too, so it's like how do you stop these tanks, right? They're just
what do you do here? He's collecting his tanks now. I mean, this could be a lot of wind gone. This might just be game, right?
Yeah, this is Oh, he's gonna turn around? Okay. A couple of stouts gonna shield him, standing in front of the LLTs, right? He's gonna rotate up on the plateau here, so maybe not gonna end the game quite yet, but here on the left side we see another pack of incisors supported by Shuris.
Oh yeah, I feel like the first Shuri reveal is one of those things that you kind of know it's coming, but if you aren't prepared for it, like we were talking about before, it's absolutely catastrophic because they can just fully trade out an army with you.
Yeah, it was like relatively even armies now. It seems like a crushing victory, it seems like.
And Chisato's making some radars and then walking his comm up towards the top. Probably wants to try to get this wreck field. There is 1k metal in that wreck field.
Sorry, jumping on so much action everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, these incisors up on top looped up and killed all of that in the top right, and now they're finally going to get caught by the stouts.
Right, but the real pressure here is Uber Raider's commander standing in front of the Geo. Okay, so he's going to finally deal with this. Maybe start collecting some of that reclaim. Those incisors in the top right are kind of getting dealt with, but another raid on the right-hand side is going to kill one of these expanding cons.
And Ubi is making air cons, I guess, to reclaim?
Yeah, something like that. Can be a little, little vulnerable with your build power, though. But they're so mobile, it kind of maybe makes up for that, of course, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Single scouts finding their way into the main base. What is this? 15 minutes into a match, right? How does this happen? I don't know.
They just snuck in.
Yeah.
They very politely. Excuse me, sir. And Chisato still hasn't dropped a bot lab for resbots, which is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, not even really worrying about grabbing reclaim. I guess he's been leaving it on his opponent's side of the map, so maybe that makes it a little easier for you.
Yeah, you just don't even want to try to contest it.
Look at all these wins.
And,
Jeez Louise.
that's a T2 lab that he just dropped. Chisato just dropped at the north, so interesting.
It's going to be hard to assist that out, and we can only see 3 of these con turrets are assisting that lab right now. A few idle con turrets in the main, perhaps a little bit of a mistake, but not the biggest error. Alt F4 has moved into air himself, of course, has some fighters to deal with these Shuris. Clearing out this expansion attempt on the bottom right.
Yep. He does kill those. I mean, those 2 exploiters, I feel like those 2 exploiters held that for minutes.
Right.
So definitely got their value.
See, the mine layer has made a return, right? Going around the map, doing its thing.
Oh, yeah.
I would say the game maybe really favored Chisato. I mean, look at the statistics, right? 42k metal to 28, right? It's like
I think Chisato's just incredibly far ahead, and that's before his T2 kicks in. And
right.
He went con first. He's going double con first, and Uber Vader's just now finishing his T2 lab. So this is going to be, I think, a little bit of a lull once the battle lines sort of establish, and then we're going to see the T2 kick in pretty hard.
Right, and he's forced to go Jaguars first, right?
Yeah, and that... I just am not. I think Jags are great in a lot of situations, but I feel like this isn't one of them. They just don't trade that well into brutes.
Definitely not. It's like maybe like you would want to have initiative or maybe like a bot player perhaps to get more value out of the Jaguars, but you're just going to be behind against a player who went 2 cons first, right? So
yeah. But we'll see what he wants to do. And he hasn't. Oh, he does have a con and a console queued up.
Love the console. That's probably one of the main reasons to play ARM in 1v1s is the versatility of that vehicle, really.
Yeah, they're quite nice. And Chisato is just 18 Tigers on repeat. Why make other units when you can make Tigers?
So many wins. It's crazy. Almost doubling his opponent's E-income as 1.7 to 1k, so not quite doubled, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's like 70%, but that's with the wind at 8. When the wind kicks up higher, it's going to be a massive indifference.
This AGU is up, actually. Wow, he got that up really fast. What about Chisato? Yeah, so Alta4 did a great job. Oh, excuse me. I thought that was the advanced Geo, just a regular Geo.
Just a regular, yeah. Chisato has his queued, but hasn't been built yet. And Chisato wants to do this push mid, or sorry, Ubervader wants to do this push mid, but there's so many LLTs and there are Tigers here.
Yeah, now there's Tigers, right? So it's like, how do you push into that? There's Resbots on the front line. They're about to go down here shortly.
I mean, the one nice thing is that Tigers don't actually have that much DPS, so you can kind of fight them with Stouts, at least in the beginning stages. But yeah, once that starts to pick up a little bit more, I think it's going to be scary. How do you feel about this bot fight? Do you think these Jags can push through?
Definitely not, unless maybe you detonate the 2 mines. Just had his army, that'd be kind of cute, but no, these don't get through, surely, right?
I don't. Well, may have spoken too soon. I'm worried that they might end up trapping themselves here as they try to raid.
Right, that's like a bit of a low ground there next to the river, so have a tough time moving back up of that hill towards the main base to get their value, but Chisato has his own mines out, actually. I didn't quite notice that, so both players using these mine layers.
Yeah, just trying to do everything they can, but I mean, this is looking a little bit dire now. Chisato, with the wind at max, Chisato's almost doubled the E production of Alta 4, and Alta 4 hasn't really been upping his mexes very much, right? He's got the Khan that's just coming out now to up mexes, but he's half of Chisato's metal income.
Yeah, that's wild. This is what he's known for, just super strong macro. He does the same thing in FAF, right? What is this, a bowl drop? What did I just see? Somehow
it landed.
Yeah,
it
right.
landed. I'm on board.
That was really close.
Okay.
I was worried for you there, but yeah, he got on the ground safely. Expert pilot going, you know.
Yeah, is he actually going to get value out of this though?
I mean, surely, right? He's like being chased by, you know, like 6k metal worth of tanks, right? So
that's true. I just assumed that Chisato would have more Shuris out and just immediately shut it down, but I guess not.
Shuris are all
You know,
gone.
it's funny, this Wind SimCity from Chisato actually acts like as a little bit of a buffer, right? Like that bull couldn't hit anything important because there was just an army of wind in the way.
Right. Big brain, you know, 1000 IQ. We'll just make walls of winds, right? So
it's dual purpose. We got the Stout Janus trying to push up top here, and they are going to drive the Tigers back a little bit, I guess.
Having having bulls versus tigers feels like a good position to be in, but I don't like, he's just too far behind, right? It's not like equal numbers of T2 units attacking each other. I see 4 tigers on the right side of the map, just completely uncontested, right? They're just gonna run up the right side.
And this raid is going to clean up some of these mexes, but there are mines, and so he needs to be careful. If he tries to run straight up, he's going to run into the mines. Uh-oh. I think, yeah, he's triggering them.
Yeah, he eats a couple of those, right? I mean, these tanks are super low, right? So, and here come like 12 tigers, something like that, 10 tigers. On the right side of the map, there's that same raid that's making its way to the top right side of the map.
Yeah, he's got a couple LLTs, but I don't think it's going to be enough to actually stop it. And Ubervader has to know he's in a little bit of a precarious situation. He's so far behind economically.
That metal difference suddenly is almost 30k metal, and you can, you know, see that in the number of medium or T2 tanks we have on the field. Yeah,
I mean, that 9 Tiger raid up top is terrifying. There's nothing there, right? There's a couple LLTs and a commander.
Oh, I see a commander, right? D-gun's a thing. Wait, maybe he'll get... Surely you can D-gun, you know, 9 tigers, right?
Well, he didn't cloak either. Oh, no.
Oh, I like it. You know, you gotta make plays sometimes, right? He's gonna go down here, right? He's down to like less than 10%.
Should soon, maybe? Oh, that nano's... Oh, no.
What a game.
Yeah.
I would like to see a rematch of this, right? It's like, just, you know, can he crack the code on Chisato here in the next week or so? right? But
Yeah, I mean, I think it felt a little bit closer in the beginning, but I
mhm,
feel like his, you know, the aggression from that one mech's opening, he had the two cons expanding and he kept Chisato trapped for just the first couple minutes, but then Chisato started sneaking grunts in and out,
right.
and it is he just, I felt like he just didn't get enough damage done, right?
No, he didn't get enough damage, and perhaps like the transition is a little too slow. Granted, he took a lot of economic damage that game, losing quite a few cons there in like the early mid game. So maybe he couldn't get that vehicle transition because like he was like Alt F4 is transitioning to vehicles and Chisato was already on air, right? And had like 1.5k worth of energy going. So just kind of wild to see what macro can do for you, right?
Yeah, and you know it's funny because Alta 4 he had close timings, but he was just a little bit behind in everything.
Mm,
You know, like the T2 lab I think was the best example. It's like Chisato had his down and had two cons out, and Uber Vader was building his, but it's just like that slow sort of snowball of, you know, it's like once you get that early eco and once you get those mexes upgraded, then you can just spam tigers.
right on. Well, I mean that's the game. We're gonna be casting more of these. So if you like the round of 16 content, be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and see you guys next weekend for the round of 8.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks to Volchek for coming on, and I'm sure we'll be casting more together here soon. So, cheers.
Oh yeah.